The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the roll call. The clerk will call the roll. Please also indicate your presence on your roll call device.
Council President Borchard.
Here.
Alderman Bruno.
Yeah.
Erickson.
Here.
Linsky.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
Alderman Steiner is appearing remotely with the assistance of Director Schrader. Alderman Polno.
Here.
Alderman Lundrum.
Here.
And Alderman Weber.
Here.
Thank you. Alderman Weber, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no appointments this evening. So moving on to approval of the council proceedings and minutes and proceedings of the November 18th, 2025 special common council meeting and budget public hearing. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of the approval of those minutes and proceedings? Seeing none, those minutes and proceedings are approved. Moving on to the public forum. This is the part of our meeting where anyone from the public can come forward to speak on any topic of interest they would like to share with the council. If you would like to speak during the public forum, please come forward and state your name and address, and we'd be happy to hear from you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julian Walters, and I'm here with Eminent Development Corporation, and I am here to speak on behalf of the term sheet for the property at the 1300 block of South Commercial Street. As some of you may know, we responded to the RFP issued by the City of Neenah, and we have the exchange that we're proposing, and we're hoping to come to terms today. I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin, affordable housing developer, looking forward to actually bringing this project to fruition. After we reviewed the comp plan and some of the housing studies that you guys have done, and we felt that we could put forth a solution to some of the housing challenges you guys are facing. In our project, we wanted to make sure that we captured kind of the existing character of the area, knowing that it's residential. So, I don't know if you guys have seen plans, but on the back we have some townhouse units, some stacked flats. And then on the front, on the South Commercial facing street, we have a mixed use building with the commercial component to reactivate that corridor, which we understand was was one of the goals for the RFP. And so I really wanted to come and just show you guys who I am, put a face to a name, introduce myself to all the aldermen. I've met with Kelly and Mayor Lang, but I wanted you guys to know that I'm invested in this project. I'm invested in Neenah, and I'm looking forward to working with your community. So if you have any questions once the agenda comes up, feel free, and I can come up and address anything that you guys may have. But then as we go forward through this process, I'm one call away, and I'm looking forward to my trips to Neenah. So it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum portion of tonight's meeting?
Mayor. Me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Carrie Lendrum, 419 11th Street. I am making my formal announcement tonight for a re-election for District 1. It has been really fun. It's been a challenge. It's been an honor to serve all of you, and honestly, staff makes it easy. I'm a lifelong servant, and no matter what, I will always be here for you, for everyone. I just want to, right off the bat, give my phone number, 920-850-2433, and my personal email, cclendrum@gmail.com. That's 2 C's. And so it's cclendrum@gmail.com. And that would be for re-election questions. If you have city questions, my city email, clendrum@neenahwi.gov. clendrum@neenahwi.gov. I have a personal Facebook page that is my own, and it is not affiliated with the city. And you can read more about that, the legalities of that, under, if you click on Neenah Alderman Carrie Lendrum and you click on the About section, you can read about how it is not affiliated. I have my personal number, personal phone number, my personal email. So it is not affiliated at all with the city, my personal page. That one is called Neenah Alderman Carrie Lendrum. Please feel to follow that for fun news about the city. You can private message me on there too. Feel free to text me too. I forgot to mention that. So thank you for your support, and call me, please. No one calls me. I'm kidding. I just got a call tonight. It was awesome. So I have to get back to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum? Seeing no one, I will close the public forum. Is there anyone who would like to speak on anything that was relayed in the public forum? Alderman Lendrum?
Yes, wondering if we could have Mr. Walter's cell phone number. I'm just kidding, but kind of not. Kind of not kidding, sort of not kidding, but
Maybe not in the broadcast.
no, yeah, don't announce it. But
No.
Okay.
you can give, we'll get your card or something from community development.
Okay. All right. Kelly, can you share with the alder?
Absolutely,
Okay.
and I can certainly be, if any of the aldermen have any questions, I'm very happy to facilitate a meeting or, getting in touch and getting your
Sure.
questions answered.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any other comments? All right, seeing none, we will move on to item number 7, reports of standing committees, the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of November 25th. Chairman Lendrum.
Thank you, Mayor. As I said, back to work. Reporting out from the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of November 25th, 2025. All minutes can be found on the city website. We have 4 action items tonight. I just like saying action items in in honor of Lee Hillstrom, former alderman who used to say that. Item number 1, committee recommends council approve the master services agreement with Stantec in the amount of $25,000 for the professional services at Arrowhead Park Environmental Services. Funding for the agreement to be provided from Arrowhead Park carry forward funds included in the 2025 capital improvement budget, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Discussion on this item. Alderman Polno.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, as I stated in the committee, my concerns are ongoing with Arrowhead Park and the expenditures. It's a choice. Parks are great. It's been since January 24 when the environmental attorney was hired. That didn't go through council, so we haven't been able to get that information since that time of what that entails. So in a project that I would work on, with expenditures, without having that information, I think is crucial, especially the amount of dollars that we're talking, as well as this also, we'll have another item coming to us shortly. Director Nyforth said about the excavating. The last excavating was in January 25. That was $72,000 for 22 borings. So, this ongoing expenditure in this area, which seems kind of problematic, that there's a part of it that we don't have information on, and then, so that's why I'll be voting against this. Thank you.
Alderman Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. To our city attorney and to our director of community development, based upon what we heard from Councilman Palno, has anything illegal been done to this point of us not being notified or something? I'm feeling a twinge here that something underhanded has happened. I just want to clarify for the record, has there been?
No, there hasn't been. This was brought up about a year and a half ago, perhaps, and the council at that time ratified the agreement that we entered into with the outside counsel. There's nothing to report to this body other than legal advice that he is giving the Community Development Department, the mayor, myself, other staff team members that are working on this project. So any report that would be given wouldn't be very informative because it's not wise to be reconveying in a public fashion, confidential legal advice.
From a community development standpoint, from the technical side, obviously any, agreements or contracts will come forward to council and the respective committees for consideration and approval. And staff has been discussing providing an update about Arrowhead for the elected officials here and also just the community as a whole, and how we've been working to implement the Arrowhead Master Plan.
Thank you both.
Alderman Palmer.
Thank you, Mayor. When I was explaining myself, I was explaining about information provided to make decisions. I didn't imply illegal, because if I wanted to, I would say it. So I want to be clear on that. And to the attorney, that the contract had been ratified. That's, to my knowledge, that's incorrect, because I brought that up when I found out the expenditure during budget research last year, and we had meetings, and it was Director Hayes and Attorney Rashid who made the decision in January 24. So if there's meetings that took place since then where this council had actually ratified that, I would be glad to admit that I was in error, but I haven't seen those minutes, and I haven't seen that information, so it hasn't been ratified by this council. And it's crucial to have as much information to make $1 million decisions by this body as possible, and that's what I'm stating for, and that's why I'm voting against this.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is for the approval of the master services agreement with Stantec in the amount of $25,000 for the professional services at Arrowhead Park. Environmental services funding for the agreement to be provided from Arrowhead Park carry forward funds included in the 2025 capital improvements budget. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-1.
Item number 2, committee recommends council approve the 5-year contract with Axon for 22 Taser 7s, accessories, and cartridges for $105,811.20 over a 5-year period. Funding source to be the 2026 through the 2030 capital equipment budget. I would so move, and looks like several representatives of the police department are here.
There's a motion by Alderman Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Weber. Discussion on this item. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 3, committee recommends council approve to enter into a 49-month contract with Axon to activate the ALPR. I can't remember what A means, but it's license plate reader on existing fleet 3 squad cameras in the amount of $33,767.10, being broken into 4 payments of $8,441.76. That would be in 2026. $8,441.78 in 2027, $8,441.78 in 2028, and $8,441.78 in 2029, and the funding source being from the 2026, 2030 capital equipment budget, and Clerk Nagel will make that housekeeping typo error from 2029 to 2030 for the capital equipment budget years, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to state that actually, it seems kind of odd, but doing this contract is actually more cost-effective than doing one squad car installing the actual equipment. So might seem like a lot for people watching at home, but it's very pragmatic, and that's why I'll be supporting this.
Is there any further discussion on this item? The motion on the floor is to approve the approval of the entrance into a 49-month contract with Axon to activate ALPR on existing Fleet 3 squad cameras. And I won't read all of the details of that as they are before you, but please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And my last item tonight, item number 4, committee recommends council approve the proposal of Consolidated Construction Company Incorporated for the purchase of windowsill material, it's material only, for City Hall in the amount of $28,177, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Weber. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of November 24th. Chairman Steiner, is he reading the report, or are we passing it on to the vice chair?
It would probably be easier for the vice
Okay.
chair.
All right.
Vice Chairman Erickson?
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of November 24th, 2025. Minutes can be found on the city website. Item number 1, the committee recommends council approve the term sheet with Eminent Development Corporation to facilitate the construction of a mixed-use development consisting of workforce housing and commercial space on city-owned property within the 1300 block of South Commercial Street, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson. Whoops, that got a little fast there. There's a motion by Alderman Erickson.
It's not,
Yeah, we'll just correct that. There you go. And seconded by Alderman Bruno. Thank you for all the people who are willing to second that motion. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this is a phenomenal development. It's a testament to Director Nyforth and the mayor and a lot of other people behind it to get to this point. My one concern, usually we'd have this discussion in closed session, but the purchase of the property, the identified property, it seems like my concern is that puts that property owner in quite a catbird seat to try to leverage more than maybe the normal market would allow. So is there a threshold? You say, Director Nyforth, you say in your memo, or in the term says reasonable price. Is it fair to assume that would be assessed value or less?
The city, before I've even been here, has had multiple conversations with this property owner. So really, it was an opportunity that came when we are already talking through after the proposal was already submitted. So that's why it's not following our usual process. But we have had conversations with them, and they do appear to be willing to work with the city and be fair. With that, we've had follow-up conversations with Julian and his team, and they did indicate they are willing to contribute some money towards that. And then from a city standpoint, if we contributed funds, it would be CDBG funds or else our non-TIF CIP funds for redevelopment purposes.
would the land development fund, would that also be a resource potentially?
I mean, we could use that, but I think we have plenty to cover. I don't anticipate it would be a lot. But really, what we would pay for this property, I think it would bring so much more value from that return on investment to expand that development and add more units. So we really want to make sure if we're doing this, we do this right, the first time. And I also think having a little bit wider driveway area on Peckham will protect the neighborhood a little bit more. So we're working through that process right now. I'm working with the property owner. And of course, if there is, a time when the city is coming forward to purchase it, it will go through all the necessary city committees.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to approve the term sheet with Eminent Development Corporation to facilitate the construction of a mixed-use development consisting of workforce housing and commercial space on city-owned property within the 1300 block of South Commercial Street. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 2, the committee recommends council approve Resolution 2025-17, approving the Neenah Central City Business Improvement District 2026 operating plan, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 3, the committee recommends council approve the purchase equipment, software, and services from Heartland Business Systems and Camera Corner Connecting Point to upgrade servers and storage at our primary and disaster recovery data centers at a cost not to exceed $285,000, with funding coming from the Information System Capital Equipment Budget, the Information Systems Fund Balance, and the Capital Equipment Fund Balance, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to state that goes below the water, but this is another, Director Schrader, I was talking to him before, I said, lately he's my favorite director. It seems like he comes forward to us and it saves money. If you add it up over the 2026 and 2027, we're looking at somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000 of savings that'll be an ongoing basis, and more capabilities, easier to use, saving staff's time. So I think it's just good to point that out, because a lot of times that goes under the water because a lot of the techie stuff, it gets kind of wonky, but that's a very good positive.
Is there any further discussion or any comments on this item? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to approve the purchase equipment, software, and services from Heartland Business Systems and Camera Corner to upgrade servers and storage at our primary and disaster recovery data centers at a cost not to exceed $285,000, with funding coming from the Information Systems Capital Equipment Budget, the Information Systems Fund Balance, and the Capital Equipment Fund Balance. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report from that meeting.
Thank you. Would you like to move on to the Special Finance and Personnel Committee meeting?
Sure. Reporting
you.
out from the Special Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of December 3rd, 2025. That was held prior to this meeting. Item number 1, council to consider committee recommendation for staff to enter into an agreement with Civic Plus to license and configure 3 software modules and purchase any additional hardware needed at a cost not to exceed $68,000 for the first year, with funding coming from the 2026 Clerk Capital Equipment Budget for Agendas and Minutes software and the 2026 Information Systems Capital Equipment Budget for multi-year software licensing, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Paulno. Discussion on this item. Seeing no discussion, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report from that meeting.
Thank you for your reports. The next item on the agenda, regular Plan Commission meeting. There were no action items to report, and that would have been Alderman Steiner. So we will move on to item 8B, the Board of Public Works meeting of December 1st. Vice Chairman Lindrum.
Thank you, Mayor. And as you said, I'll be reporting out from the Board of Public Works meeting of December 1st, 2025. The minutes can be found on the website as the attachments are on this packet online, and of course, all the minutes as usual. Just one item tonight. Board recommends council award contract 12-25 Courtside Fields Stormwater Pond to MCC Incorporated in the amount of $1,289,292.79 with funding outlined in the, as I mentioned, Director Kaiser's memo dated November 26, 2025, and this is in that Shattuck area. And I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lindrum, seconded by Council President Borchert. Discussion on this item. Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Kaiser, question. Since this was identified as one area of future needed solids removal in the 2013 plan, and now we're 2026, what are the downsides? I mean, the DNR says we have to do X, but we haven't done it in 13 years. What if we didn't approve this, and what if we just said, okay, what are the repercussions? I guess I'm just trying to weigh 1.3 million expenses versus the sort of Damocles as a DNR. I can't say that word. But.
The city would be in a very bad position.
Okay.
Bluntly. We have made really good progress toward the Neenah Slough, Neenah Creek watershed. But this watershed here, the Fox River, that this particular pond feeds, we have not had an opportunity to make progress there yet. So this is a really important first step for us, not just to get moving there, but to be able to show the DNR that we are making progress to improve the water quality for stormwater flowing into the Fox River. So, yeah, that would put us in a really bad spot, regulatory-wise.
Well, we haven't complied in 13 years. This gets us 15% of the way to that number. I guess just this is 15% of the 105 that you said in your memo. So I'm just curious if they hadn't done anything. I mean, what are the ramifications? I guess if we don't comply by a certain date, because it seems like if we're only 15% of the way there, I'm thinking, well, how the heck are we going to get to the?
Oh, it's a daunting number. I don't disagree with that. That comes through the Lower Fox total maximum daily load analysis that was done, the study that was approved by the DNR that directs us to make these improvements in the stormwater quality reaching the various basins. As far as what they could do, there has been discussion on whether it's fines, requirements, basically setting us under an agreement of sorts where we have strict compliance that we would have to attain in order to satisfy them. So our goal all the way through this is to keep them as happy as we can without getting too far out over our skis.
So this would be good due diligence. Is there a hope that maybe with the new plan, maybe the bar is lowered as what we need to accomplish to help mitigate this, or is that not?
I would not expect the bar to be lowered. Certainly, the numbers provided to us through that TMDL that the DNR has, those really don't change unless the DNR looks to adjust them. So it's really where are we standing in the various basins, and what are the strategies we can use to achieve those numbers that we need to see.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And again, to Director Kaiser's point, the salient point is we're making progress towards our goal, and that's what's really important.
Yeah.
And that's important to the DNR as well. Alderman Lundrum?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have another quick question for Director Kaiser. It's my understanding that maybe some of the flooding that has been around that area, it's, you know, the Reed, Elm, Loudon, Cecil area can sometimes be problematic with flooding. And will this also help that?
Yes, it should help. We had flooding issues in the Reed area when we did Cecil Street several years ago. We increased the pipe sizing, and we planned for redirecting some of that water to come to a facility up this way. So we'll be able to pull that away from that Cecil and Reed, Cecil and Elm area. And worst case, we reduce it. Best case, we eliminate it.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Further discussion on this item? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to recommend contract 12-25 Courtside Field Stormwater Pond to MCC in the amount of $1,289,292.79 with funding outlined in Director Kaiser's memo dated November 26, 2025. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item is a report from the Library Board meeting of November 19th. Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the Neenah Public Library Board of Trustees meeting from Wednesday, November 19th. This meeting was held in November, and I have some October statistics that I'd like to share with you. In the month of October, there were 18,342 library visits. 1,981 questions were answered at the desk. 48,530 items were checked out, and we have 118 new card holders. And this type of activity goes on a monthly basis at the library. So our library is very popular, and it is a very used facility. One thing I would like to mention, that if you'd like to find out about programming at the Neenah Public Library, please visit the Neenah Public Library website. And as always, please check out some books. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Next item on the agenda is the report from the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting of November 20th. Alderman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor. The minutes will be posted on the city website. Just one item of note, I would just like to give recognition to J.C. Park and Becky Kietowski. You know, they spent a lot of time, and I mentioned this, I believe, previous council meeting, on doing some categorization, inventorying of all the things at the Doty cabin. And then in this last meeting, they presented an updated policy for the ongoing preservation of all of that information, kind of bringing us to this century, so to speak. I think the policy was 40 years old-ish. So I just wanted to give them that recognition, because now we're in a good spot to move forward with everything. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. That was a really great presentation they gave. I agree. Really good work done by them. The next item, are there any petitions? No petitions. The next item, council directives. There was a motion by Lendrum, seconded by Ellis, to direct staff to evaluate section 4-95 parent E parent 1 of the Municipal Code of Ordinances as it relates to the requirement of having a Class A liquor license establishment to have a separate entrance and cash register to be modified to allow retail spaces under 3,000 square feet, only one cash register and one entrance into their premises, therefore removing the requirement of a separate entrance and cash register for retail businesses under 3,000 square feet. So that motion on the floor is to direct staff to evaluate that opportunity or option. So I'll call on Alderman Lundrum.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to amend my own council directive, if that's okay. I'm not exactly sure how to do it. I've never done it like this before, but what I would prefer after we had some discussion at Public Services and Safety. So if I could, I would like to remove the last 4 words, under 3,000 square feet. And by doing this taking that out, I think it allows staff to fully examine the entire ordinance and not, this does not mean that I approve necessarily of taking out the 3,000 square feet, but what I would like is to have staff have the entire flexibility of looking at the ordinance as a whole without that limitation and see what they can come up with and come back to us. So I should move to amend.
Make a motion to.
Second.
Okay, there's no button, but I'll let Clerk Nagel take care of that. And so I guess the only change would be, I would like to add.
Sentence would end after 4 retail businesses with under 3,000 square feet removed.
Correct, and can we add the word "and" after, in the middle of the paragraph, right in the middle, it's where it says under 3,000 square feet and only, that was the original. It just reads a little more smoothly.
Look at the screen. Do I have it right on the screen?
As a whole, do you want to say anything about taking out do you need to add removing the 3,000 square feet?
This is the amendment. It's the
Okay.
motion.
Okay, yep, so we don't even have to mention it. Okay, yes, looks good.
So there's a motion to amend the council directive motion that was on the floor and a second. Any further discussion on that amendment? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0, and then we can return to the original motion on the floor as amended. Alderman Paulno.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm fully in support of this council directive. I remember I guess I would call this kind of part of the code, and Mayor Lang may remembers as well, and maybe Alderman Erickson. Yeah, we can. This is originally Walmart, I think is where this originated, where they were coming into town, and we had that, I believe they sold gas at the time, and then we had changed the zone to allow them to build. So that's kind of the origin story of this, so I think it's long overdue I think it's outdated. I wasn't really a proponent of it at the time. It seemed like a cutout just to work around, which we didn't want to kind of have the discussion of convenience stores then, but that's where this originated from. So I think this code is outdated, and I'm fully supportive of. But my one question would be to Director Nyforth, seeing as we're doing an overall code review, fine with me if we did this first, but would you think, should we wait to incorporate it all together, or is it kind of a tomato for you?
Are you talking about with the zoning code rewrite that's upcoming?
Correct.
I think that, with this being a separate chapter in our, our ordinance and just having pretty strict DOR state statutes that we have to follow, I think we can certainly look at this and make any necessary changes and then have that information when we do the zoning code and, be able to react with those changes.
Cool. I'm fully supportive of this.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on that amended motion. That motion passes 9-0.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any unfinished business? Alderman Paulno?
I was just going to ask, was there any update, or Mayor, were you able to have any success by, you'd hope that maybe we'd have a joint meeting with the Neenah District School Board and the council this month? Is that maybe possible? It seemed pretty audacious, but.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty audacious. I've had a good conversation with Steve and Harrison, and he's very much in favor of it, but it's a matter of coordinating everyone, and particularly at this time of the year. I had hoped to have this accomplished in December, but it might happen in January instead.
It'd probably be more conducive to have it in this chambers versus their chambers. They're a little,
We've had some discussion on where it could be held, and
they're a little antiquated.
it might be a good idea to have it in a neutral space for all of us. So that was one of the points that came up in our conversation.
Cool.
But yes, still on that, so thanks for the reminder. Any new business? Seeing none, is there a motion? Oh, sorry.
No,
Alderman
just
Bruno?
I had my first annual meeting for the ICP as president this year. So I gave all of you my first annual report. So if you want to know more about what's going on the island, don't hesitate to have a look on this small book.
Thank you for handing that out, and thank you for all your work on, I have to remember, Doty Island
Doty Island Community Partners.
Community Partners. It's been
now.
DIDC for so long, it's
And
going
for
to
me,
take a while.
Yes, it will be as well.
Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder that this weekend is a very Neenah
Yes, it
Merry
is.
Christmas. Friday night from 5 to 8 o'clock, downtown Neenah. And we also have a very Merry Neenah Christmas holiday market that will take place in Gateway Plaza. This is the first ever. So please make sure that you spread the word that this event is going on. The great thing on Sunday is the Packer game was flexed to a later time, so that should not interfere. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for that great reminder as well. Any other announcements? Seeing none,
Motion to adjourn?
there's a motion by Alderman Paulno, seconded by Council President Borchert to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? We are adjourned.
The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.